Napa know-how.
A Napa guy knows that by the foot, there's no better ride than an old station wagon. Room for 6 people facing forward, 2 people facing backward, and a whole lot of luggage, lumber, and bicycles haphazardly strapped to the roof. If you can parallel park that beast, you can park anything. And with some quality parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep your land ship running longer, stronger. It's not obsolete. It's a rare treasure. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
Go, John.
We are the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks is taking no shorts, it's like winter. New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go, New York, go, New York, go!
Hey, welcome to episode 334 of the New York Knicks podcast. That's also the same number of times opposing guards have ran around Sasha when he's playing defense this season. I am Jay. With me, as always, is Marc.
And
we have Stats Guy the Fourth.
Stats Guy the Fourth.
Stats Guy the
Thank you for
Fourth.
having me here.
He is Russian, even though you don't hear it, and he will break you like Drago.
I will break you.
Yes. Stat Guy. I think I asked you off the air, but I'm going to ask you again anyway. Where are you from?
Originally from Trinidad. Right now I live in Columbia, South Carolina.
So there you have it. The Knicks are making people miserable throughout the world. Oh, what a terrible! He just Stat Guy just said off the air. I was asking how he became a Knicks fan. He said he somehow fell in love with the fact that the Knicks were losers and wanted to be there when the team turned it around.
Yep.
And apparently the team doesn't want to actually make the new Stat Guy happy.
And now
So
it's 10 years later.
It's 10 years later.
Pretty much.
He said he became a fan when Marbury came over here, and it hasn't gotten much better.
I would
Some
argue
could
that
argue
it's
it got
gotten worse. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, Lenny Wilkins was the coach. That was terrible. Larry Brown was terrible.
And
Man,
now we have Kurt Rambis makes you long
Kurt
for Larry
Rambis,
Brown.
yeah.
We have Jose Calderon, which makes you long for Stephon Marbury.
Oh, man, I'll take Steph any day of Jose Calderon, man. Jeez. At least we got an MVP candidate, right?
Yeah, Steph Marbury's been like dominating the Chinese league, and Jose Calderon's been dominating my anger.
Yeah. Do you guys know that he's getting a statue in China?
Yes, I've heard that. I don't know what goes on.
Wait, can I curse? Can I curse, guys?
Sure.
Yeah, can you curse?
Sure, why not?
Okay, all right.
Just try not to be like don't make it like a musical curse. Don't like just start singing curse words.
Yeah, don't
Okay.
do like a Bob Saget stand-up show.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't get Chris Rock-ish.
Okay, yeah. You could throw one or two out there, but Jay likes to pretend that like 7-year-old kids listen to the show. So anyway, we are doing our year-end wrap-up show. We're going to a time machine right now. We're recording on Monday night. We're going to a time machine and pretending it's Wednesday night, and the Knicks have already lost to the Pacers, and the season's over. Can we all assume they're going to lose their last game?
Yeah, I think we're safe with that. It's our end of the season wrap-up.
Yeah.
The Knicks are 32-50.
So they've won. Stat Guy, how many more games than last year?
15.
It is 15.
Ding, 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 ding. So we would say overall 15 games better. They probably have the best increase of wins of anyone in the NBA this year. I would say hands down they do.
Yeah,
I think I actually know this. I think they do actually.
Okay.
They do.
Okay. Stat Guy confirmed. Do we think this is? Can we argue this has been a success? I mean, our roster. I'm looking at last year's roster, just to give you an idea. We had Shane Larkin. We had Quincy Acey. We had Samuel Dalembert. We had Cole Aldridge. We had Travis Ware. It was just a dumpster fire, if you would.
Hands down.
We should do the annual. How many players from last season are out of the NBA this season?
Yeah, this is a good game, actually.
Does that happen to other teams where like half the roster is literally out of the NBA the following year?
I'm going to look at the roster. I'm going to name a player that's not on the Knicks anymore from last year's roster, and you tell me if he's still in the NBA.
Okay.
Bars.
Go.
Out of the NBA.
Out.
Shved.
Out.
But he's in Europe. We kind of want him back. But
Yeah, I'll take him back.
Shumpert, but he wasn't on the roster at the end of the year. Amari.
Well, technically, Shumpert is still out because he's always hurt. So
Yeah, he's hurt again.
Ricky,
yeah, he's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Ricky Lito.
Out.
Quincy Acey. He is still playing. Barely.
In.
Pablo Prigioni. Barely.
In. Yeah.
Our last year's starting center to start the year, Samuel Dalembert.
Out.
Our backup center to start the year, Cole Aldridge. I think he's still in the league.
He's in. He's getting playing time in the Clippers.
And our rookie sensation, who started the year by shutting down LeBron James, Travis Ware.
Out.
Oh my God.
A lot to build on. Shane Larkin, barely hanging on to an NBA career.
Mm-hmm. He might be out by next year.
Yep.
We had crap to work
I'll
with.
put me on that one.
And the year is, and then the new year starts. So let's talk about some of the. So what's the positives from this year? Porzingis, obviously.
KP6.
Grant. So
Number 1. Yeah.
End of list.
end of list. Well, here's the thing about this. So here's the question. I posed this on Facebook. No one seemed to even give a shit about my question today. But do you think if the Knicks actually make the system around Grant, like try to use more on pick and roll, is he a future NBA starter? Could he be our answer at point guard? Have we seen more from him recently that makes you think he could be the answer? Bueller? Anyone going to answer me? What the hell? Are you? Jay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm asking you, Jay, and we will ask that guy also separately. But Jay, do you think Grant could be the answer at point guard?
Backup point guard, yes.
I feel like Grant could be the answer at starting point guard. I feel like most guys work on their shooting and get better. His shooting's not great, but it could get better. And if his shooting gets better, he is starting NBA point guard caliber.
I guess. I mean, his defense is all right. You know what? We were at the game yesterday, and he had a lot of nice passes. It's just everyone on the team missed every shot.
Yeah, he set everyone up, and no one can convert a shot.
He set Lopez up for 2 layups, and he missed both of those.
Yeah, his stat line is misleading when you see, oh, you only had 1 assist. You're like, well, he could have 8 if he was on any other team in the NBA.
Yeah.
Stat guy. Is Jerry and Grant, whatever the hell his goddamn name is he going to the Hall of Fame?
No.
Okay.
Hands up.
So we don't have a Hall of Fame point guard, Jay.
No, we don't. We definitely don't.
Do you think Grant, stat guy, can Grant be a serviceable starting point guard?
Yes.
You could answer faster because whatever you say, we're not going to hold you to it later. You don't have to think about it that long.
No. The connection is on and off, I think.
Are we calling you in Trinidad right now?
Yeah, it's everything.
It's
got
gone
fuzzy.
downhill really fast. Not with having you on the show, but I can't. Your connection's really bad. What happened?
Yeah, my connection just went to shit. I don't know.
Does South Carolina not use the internet?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they do. Okay.
It's terrible though.
It's back now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grant was a first-round pick. Steven was asking if he was a second-rounder. He was a first
No,
rounder.
if he was a second rounder, to be on your team, Steven. And by your team being the Sixers. So Steven and I had a whole debate. He gets so angry when I rip on the Sixers. And I want to say, Jay, let's just debate this. Can we debate the Sixers? Just take a moment from the Knicks and just debate, does the Sixers plan make sense? Do you want to be for or against it?
I'll be for it.
Okay. 3 years in a row, they drafted a guy that played the same position as their top draft pick.
Right, but only one of them plays at a time.
They draft is big men who are power forward / centers, and they don't even like half of them. You drafted Okafor this past year, and you were already thinking about trading him.
The position wasn't filled yet. You gotta focus on one position at a time.
And Embiid, I told you before the draft he would never play in the NBA, and he's yet to play in the NBA.
Well, he's the first guy ever to be drafted with 2 consecutive I's in his name. I can't think of a positive.
You have $16 million to spend, which sounds great, but you couldn't sell management on your plan, and now Brian Colangelo gets to make all of your decisions.
I can't defend Colangelo either.
No, I mean, it's so ridiculous because he built this plan. He had this plan.
Angelo's a pretty good GM.
Yeah, I mean, they had this pretty good plan. I mean, it's an okay plan. I get the idea of tanking and having a lot of money, so you get a lot of picks, and you could rebuild really fast. Once you get the draft picks, you can spend the money. But if management just is not going to follow what you're doing, then you've pretty much screwed up anyway. Because he built this whole thing, and now Colangelo gets to do it, gets to like screw it up for him. Though I bet Colangelo drafts guys that play different positions.
Yeah.
But he did draft Bargs, right?
Did he draft Barnes?
Pretty sure he drafted Bargs.
Fuck.
I'm going to use my curse word on that.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
No, it's cool. It's just the first curse you've gone is like, Bargs.
Bargs just has that instinctive reaction. Okay, so
Jay asked me to repeat this. I made this joke last year about the Knicks, and Jay asked me to repeat it this year. The Knicks are the best sons in all of basketball because they are home for Mother's Day every year.
Yep, that's true.
Okay, so they played a bunch of games recently. Do we want to talk that much about the game? They beat the Sixers, which is not considered an accomplishment.
right.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about that game. That's one of those games where, like, if you win, you're like, yeah, you were supposed to. And if you lose, you're like, holy crap, we lost that game. So it's like, just, there's no redeeming value for that game.
Yeah.
So, Stat Guy, see if you can get this. I have a trivia question for you. This team was 30th in the NBA in steals per game. Stat Guy's still there. Jay.
Steals per game, I would
30.
say
Yeah.
Knicks.
You're right. How do you get so bad in getting steals? How do you look the dead last in the league? It's like they're not trying to create turnovers on defense anymore.
You have a slow plotting team that can't defend anybody. It's hard to get steals when you can't defend anybody.
Do you know they're 27th in points per game?
Great.
26th in assists per 26th in, sorry for stealing your thunder here, Stat Guy. 26th in assists per game.
My stuff is going through so late. Hey, I'll call back.
Okay.
Okay.
So want to compare our predictions from beginning of the season to what they actually ended up being?
What happened to Stat Guy?
His connection was probably screwing up.
Okay. Was he calling in from Trinidad? Okay. Yeah. Let's go. Well, you know our. Okay. What are our predictions? Go do it, Jay.
They're really bad, actually.
Are you taking the one where I said the Knicks would win the title?
No. I'm just doing. We picked the. Well, we were going to pick all 15, but you stopped caring after 8, so we'll just do the playoff teams.
Oh, you want to do the whole? Okay, yeah.
How many playoff teams in the East do you think that we each got right?
I think I got all 8 right.
You got half of that right.
Nice. 50% is always always successful.
You picked 4, and I picked 5. Not very impressive.
Not very impressive. What about the West?
So notable screw-ups. I had Washington at 4 and Chicago at 5. That was not good. You had Washington at 2 and Chicago at 3, and the Knicks at 5.
Oh, okay. Well, did I? Were those all the ones that got correct?
The West, I got 7 out of 8, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 8.
Wow. Who did I have first?
You had the Warriors. We both had the Warriors.
Okay.
Then it goes downhill. You had the Rockets.
Were the Rockets nuts too? Were they 3 this year?
You had the Pelicans and the Kings in 7 and 8. I don't know what you were smoking when we did this.
Apparently I was smoking some best player in the NBA, Anthony Davis. I thought Sacramento would be better this year. They have Rondo, who's coming to the Knicks next year.
I hope not. I really hope not. And then let's see. Anything else of note? We were both down on the Spurs. You had them 5th and I had them 6th. So that was really terrible.
Yeah, they're actually really good, I think.
I had Utah. I had Dallas at 7, Utah at 8. So I got some of it right anyway.
So, Jay.
Yeah.
Who do you think? Is that Stat Guy again?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Stat Guy.
All right. Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, cool. Okay, so, Jay, who do you think had more assists per game? The 2015, this year's Knicks or last year's Knicks?
This year we were, 26th?
We just numbers wise. I don't actually have the rankings here, but one team had 21.3 assists per game, and one team had 20.4 assists per game. Which team? So this year's Knicks or the worst Knicks team ever, who had more assists per game?
This team.
The worst Knicks team ever actually had more assists per game than the current Knicks squad.
Awesome.
How many? Let's see what else here that I thought was interesting. So how much better do you think this team? So the worst Knicks team ever shot 42.8% from the field. How do you think this? How much better do you think this team is?
I think 0.2% better.
43.9, so 1% better.
All right.
That's building on something.
Well, apparently that gets you an extra 12 wins, 15 wins.
Did he hang up again?
I think so.
Sorry, Stat Guy.
Sorry, last Stat Guy ever.
Who was better from 3-point land? This year's Knicks team or the worst team in Knicks history?
Had a better what?
Who was better from 3-point land? Percentage-wise.
3-point land. This year we had Calderon playing. Grant was leading the league in 3. Yeah, Grant was leading the league in 3-point percentage.
You mean Galloway?
Galloway.
Yeah.
For a couple months. So this year.
Last year's team was 0.1% better from 3-point land.
Oh.
The worst team in NBA. Though this year we shoot 2 more threes a game. So this year's team actually values the 3 slightly more. Who attempted more field goals per game? Free throws.
Last year.
No, actually this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Aren't we like last in the league at getting to the line?
We were really bad at it last year too.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Who averages more turnovers?
More turnovers. Last year.
Yes. Okay. Who has more steals per game?
Steals last year.
And it's
I think you did.
I was going to say, and it's not even close.
Yeah,
we get more blocks per game here this year, so that's a positive. Hey, stats guy. I assume we're going to call him.
We're getting a terrible echo now.
Zach, you have to hang up and call back.
Okay. This is going splendidly.
This is going like the next season. I know I'm just reading stats right now. It's just interesting to see the difference.
Yeah.
All right.
Stat guy, you have to close the window. I can hear myself. Is he looking? I don't hear myself anymore.
Okay.
Forward to hear myself. Okay.
You hear?
Okay. Anyway, so the question really is: have we made enough of an improvement from last year to this year that you'd say that you were happy about it?
I mean, record-wise, going up 15 games is nice. But roster-wise, I don't really know if we made a huge improvement.
If we go 15 games next year, I'll be really happy.
Yeah.
I would take even half that. If we win 40 games next year, I think I'd be going the right direction.
It would. Will that happen? I don't know.
Stat guy, are we going to win 40 games next year?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. You heard it. Why? Why are we going to be able to win 40 games next year, stat guy?
Well,
Tell us how Coach
to me, the only thing you got to improve is the bench. It's like,
You think the starting guards are really
oh my
good?
God. We could use Rambus as a sacrificial lamb. I mean, yeah, we could.
You mean he's gonna play guard for us?
No. He's gonna offer his blood to the basketball gods. That's the only way. This guy's terrible.
Stat guy, who's a better coach, Derek Fisher or Kurt Rambis?
Derek Fisher.
Stat guy, who's a better guard, Aflalo or Sasha?
Sasha.
That was the most depressing question and answer we've had on the show.
Yes. Have you guys
Stat guy, would you rather
past 5 games? Jeez.
Yes, but Sasha. I'm sorry, Sasha. Stat guy, would you rather cut off your thumb or your pinky? I want to keep along the same lines of questioning.
Pinky.
Okay, pinky. I don't know. I don't even know. So, do you want to give grades? Let's give the players grades.
Sure.
Okay, Carmelo Anthony. What do you give him on the year?
Give him an A-. He
played a pretty good year.
He was fairly healthy. Led the team in assists and
That's
points.
even everything.
Yeah, pretty much every stat. So, sure.
Dude, let's just hang on. Let's just cut to Jazz. Want to do role playing with you? Can you be Carmelo Anthony, and I'm going to be every member of the New York media? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
When are you going to be traded? Do you want to be traded? I know you want to be traded. How can you play for this awful team? Come on. When are you going to be traded? When are you going to be traded?
I love New York. Just saying.
You're a liar. Oh my God, I have to print a story about that. Come on. You want to be traded. Come on. You want to be traded. I mean, he's got to be asked morning, noon, and night. He's got to be asked like 17 times a day about when he's going to be traded. Every day there's a story in the goddamn New York media about Melo says he wants to develop the team. He wants to stick with the Knicks. Melo says, leave him the goddamn alone if you don't have a new question.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Stat guy, should the Knicks trade Carmelo Anthony this summer?
I don't know how to answer that one. Honestly.
It's a yes or a no.
God. No.
Why in God's name would you keep him? What is the point?
Number one, I don't think you get back the value, and I don't think Porzingis is ready to take over the team.
Porzingis is not.
He's just not ready.
What you probably can get young players and or draft picks for Melo, right?
Well, the only thing is, if you trade Melo, you're probably gonna get a terrible number 30 in the draft. It's
why
not
the
gonna be good.
Celtics have the picks from the Nets.
Well, that's probably the only team, but then the Celtics are talking about trading for Jimmy Butler. I'll take Jimmy Butler over Melo any day.
Don't tell that to the Celtics, please. They're our hope.
Want to keep the grades going?
Yeah, I guess we'll keep
Yeah.
Okay. Jose Calderon.
D?
Yeah. I don't know. I give him a C-. I feel like at times he played. Well, I guess like he gets 50% because he didn't play defense this year, right?
Right, and then he also got injured a bunch of times.
Well, I give him like that's how I go from a D to a C- because he got injured. What about Cleanthony Early? So Cleanthony Early got shot in the leg. And he came back to play. What do you give him?
I'll give him a C plus for getting better so quick.
Yeah. Stat guy. Last time you were shot in the leg, how long before you were able to play basketball?
1 week.
Okay, cool. I give Early a C plus also. Galloway. What do we give Galloway's? Okay, here's a question also. Clancy Early is the first guy that we don't know if he's going to be back next year. Do the Knicks bring him back? Make the argument for or against.
I think they should. I mean, he's young. He's gonna be he's definitely gonna be on a minimum contract. And at this point, you need bodies because once again, we're gonna have like 7 open roster spots.
I would say he's young, athletic, and fast. All qualities the Knicks don't want. Stat guy. Should the Knicks bring back Early?
No.
Why not?
Oh, put him on the D League team, and leave a roster spot open. I just can't see it. He's just he hadn't improved in his ball handling. I just don't see it.
Have you seen Clancy Early play basketball this year? I'm not saying like you're wrong or anything. I'm just saying he's barely played. How do we even know?
I saw him a lot.
When did you see him?
I looked at him in the D League, and also when he actually played on the team, he just looks timid. I don't see it.
You think playing him more would get him better?
In the D League?
Okay, yeah. So you agree we should keep his rights, but give him a lot more run in the D League?
Yeah.
That seems reasonable. That seems reasonable. Galloway, Jay, grade.
C plus. The first half of the season he was really good. He slumped for like the last 2 months though.
I saw a stat this morning that when Galloway and Grant play together, they allow, I think they said 101 points per 100 possessions, which as a tandem, they'd be the third best tandem in the NBA.
Galloway and Grant?
When they played together, they had they're actually like a pretty good guard tandem together on defense.
Well, it's a good thing they only played like 16 minutes together all season.
Yeah. Stat guy, can you find that? You do that. Find out. Look up. I saw this article. Maybe it was on ESPN.com. Something about Grant and Early and Galloway playing together on defense. Can you Google this? Sweet.
Yeah, doing it.
Okay. Should we bring Galloway back?
Yeah.
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 I don't think we have that much to go on. Why not?
If he ever developed a shot,
Porzingis. What letter are you give Porzingis?
A.
Should we bring Porzingis back?
Yeah. We the Knicks usually don't let the rookies go until the second year.
Okay, cool. Grant. What letter do you give Grant?
Grant, I'd give him a C plus. I mean, considering the circumstances he was put in with multiple coaches, inconsistent playing time, not really knowing his role, he did it right, but his shot still really sucks. So
here's a question. Do you think Grant's shot has gotten better throughout the year?
I can't really tell because he only started getting playing time like a week ago.
Well, there's a way to actually find out. We could look at his splits. And I will. So let me find the.
We have a stat guy for this.
I know. I put stat guy on a mission to figure out some other stuff, and I'm still waiting. So, okay, here we go. Okay, so field goal percentage. Wait for it by month. 35%. 31%. That's December. 33% for January. Then 45% for February. 42%, almost 43% for March, and 46% for April.
All right.
So he's getting better.
It seems like his numbers spiked as soon as Fisher got fired.
It's actually true. I don't know why. There was also a quote from him. There was a quote from him about saying how it was hard to figure out, he was very timid about things because he'd be yanked randomly throughout games. So it's hard to really get any kind of rhythm. And he's feeling better now that he's actually getting some real playing time.
Makes sense. I mean, it's got to be hard knowing, if you screw up once, Sasha's going to play the next 40 minutes for no reason.
Yeah, basically, he said it was just really hard to, he always would press himself, too much before and have no confidence because he didn't have any real consistent playing time, which is what your coach should always instill that in a young player. Give him very inconsistent playing time and let him learn through watching or crying.
Yeah, keep your young guys on the verge of a panic attack at all times.
Yeah, exactly. Did you find this yet, Stack Guy?
I found a bunch of ads, but
You found an ad on the internet?
dude, every website I clicked on had ads galore. I think you set me up for failure. Yeah, I found some stuff where it just says that they had the best assist to turnover ratio in the league.
It's pretty good.
And just the amount of turnovers they average together is actually better than the amount of turnovers Jose averages by himself because he gets raped by any athletic guard that goes up against him. So I think they would be good.
Okay. Cool.
I do question, though, what would Grant Tony Roten combination look like?
Do you think Grant Roten will be even on the team next year?
I think Roten will be.
Yeah.
I know he signed a 3-year contract, but he still doesn't have to make it through training camp.
I would rather Tim Frazier, who we said we should get, and then he lit it up for a month and a half.
Okay, Jay, you've been talking about Tim Frazier for a while. Was Tim Frazier on the Westchester Knicks?
No.
So the Knicks weren't allowed to get him. That's
Yeah,
how
they
the
were.
league rule works, Jay.
No, they were allowed to get him, though.
No, Jay, that's impossible. If he wasn't on the Westchester Knicks, the Knicks weren't allowed to do it. Did you see the Knicks go look for anyone else in the D League? Only guys that are on the Westchester Knicks the Knicks are allowed to go for. Those are the rules the Knicks believe.
Yeah.
Okay, it was in an article by Chris Herring. Stack Guy, you've already failed me.
My bad.
New York's defense has surrendered just over 100 points per 100 possessions with Grant and Galloway on the court, according to NBA.com, a metric that ranked third best in the league. By contrast, the Knicks allowed more than 108 points per 100 plays when Calderon and Aflalo played together, a number that ranked the club's defense second worst in the entire NBA. Despite these numbers, Aflalo and Calderon shared the floor 49% of the time, whereas Grant and Galloway only played together about 29% of the time.
Well, I can see why they didn't go with that then.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I make the very simple argument. The Knicksian argument is that if you rank second to last in the NBA on defense, you're bound to only get better. Versus if you're ranking third best, you're bound to only get worse. So you have to go to the team on the combination that's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you, Stack Guy?
Yeah. Perfect sense.
Nailed it. Stack Guy, could you look up every box score since 1948?
Oh, good God.
You know NBA.com has every box score since 1948? Why? Who finds that goes, yes, 1950s, here I go.
Yeah, what kind of psychopath is looking up a game from 53?
Yeah.
I mean, they should just I should click on the link and then it should be like a display go, no one's ever clicked on this link.
Yeah, you got me.
Okay, so Aflalo, grade. By the way, at one point during the year, Jay and I were both saying Aflalo was a great pickup and one of the better shooting guards the Knicks have ever had. Ever had, but in recent memory.
I'm going to go back and re-edit that episode and cut that out.
What grade would you give Aflalo? And even though he has a lot of A's in his name, he doesn't get an A.
No, he gets a C-.
Yeah, I could say that high. That's it. Aflalo, should we bring Aflalo back? / convince him that there's money to be had on the open market?
I say later.
Stat guy. Should we convince the Flalo there's money in them hills?
Yes. Goodbye or follow.
I don't think we have to worry about that. I think we pissed him off enough where he's gonna leave.
Did you guys see that team picture where everyone is smiling and he's looking at his phone?
No, I didn't see that.
No, that's really funny though.
Oh my God. I'll
I
reach
love
it.
my favorite. Rambus was like, "Oh, I talked to him." Flalo was like, "No, he didn't." Rambus is like, "Oh, he'll make himself more marketable by showing that he could play the bench." And Flalo was like, "Is this guy insane?" Kyle O'Quinn. We have to bring him back, so we have no choice. But what grade do you give him?
It's a good thing we locked that guy in for 4 years.
Yes. We when you don't know if a guy's going to be good or not, you want to make sure you don't know for 4 years.
I would say D.
Yeah, he was pretty horrible. I mean, he couldn't beat out Kevin Seraphin for half the season to be our backup terrible center.
Triple backup, right?
Yeah, I mean, throughout the whole year, he was in an epic battle with Seraphin to be our third backup center.
Yeah.
We're going with Porzingis being our backup. Who's stat guy? Who's better? Kyle O'Quinn, Kevin Seraphin, or Cole Aldridge?
Cole Aldridge.
It's true.
It's true.
Derek Williams.
Give him a B minus.
Give him a B. He'd be higher. He just disappeared for like 30 games this year.
Well, his defense is so bad.
But he had like a stretch where he was playing really well. The Knicks were 22-22. Then he just did not, like, he barely did anything for the next 20 straight games.
Yeah.
Maybe B minus. His defense is pretty bad.
It's really bad.
I mean, there should be like a cattle prod to like electrocute him anytime he shoots a three.
There's a reason he always has like a minus 10 plus minus.
He looks at times though, like we were at the game yesterday. Jay and I went on a romantic date. We were at the game yesterday, and he had this great move to the basket. And you're watching him and going like, this guy should be like a very good player in the NBA, but he's not.
Well, there's a reason he's on his third team already.
Robin Lopez. Oh, is Derek Williams a free agent?
No.
God damn it. Robin Lopez.
A.
Stat guy. What was a better signing, Robin Lopez or the dumpster fire that is Greg Monroe? And I show no bias in how I asked the question.
Robin Lopez.
Okay. I give Robin Lopez an A. I think he's really good. Okay, here. Okay, I'll wait for the Facebook questions for this one. Never mind. I'm not going to address the Dwight Howard thing yet. Lou Admonson.
Give him a C.
How in the God's name does he get a C?
Because I had no expectations, and he met them.
He can't get playing time on a pretty bad team. He gets an F. He does not deserve to be in the NBA. Even though Jay showed me this picture of LeBron James hanging out with all his good friends and Lou Admonson. Who was there in the picture, Jay?
I don't even know all the guys. It was LeBron, a bunch of other NBA players. I think Tristan Thompson, and then Lou Admonson for some reason.
LeBron James was quoted as saying, I hope one day I can build my dream team with Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, and Lou Admonson.
I like, how did Lou get in with LeBron's entourage? It seems so weird to me.
Should we comment on the 72 wins? Golden State has matched the record.
Maybe LeBron was like, I really love that Phoenix A-team, B-team thing that you guys were a part of.
Lou Admonson, I can't believe you're in the NBA either. Come hang out with us. Should we comment on Golden State? 72 wins. They tied the record. Likely going to break the record. Are they better than the 96 Bulls?
Nope.
I would. It's weird because I feel like if they played in the Chicago era with all the hand checking, Chicago would win, and if they played now, Chicago would lose.
Yeah, I would say
'Cause
that's
the eras was so different. Like I don't think each team would adapt to the rules very well.
It'd be tough. Yeah, they didn't shoot as many threes back then. It's hard to say. I mean, I feel like Jordan and Pippen were two of the better defenders.
Yeah, they were obviously. I mean,
Yeah, clear, two of the greatest defenders of all time. Like, I wonder how well they would be able to shut down Curry and like Klay Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, probably better than most teams. And then Rodman was no slouch either.
And Rodman, how well would Rodman go on Green?
Yeah, I think Green would have a lot of problems with Rodman on him.
Then again, this team won 73 wins. Guys going to break the record and at least matched it. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Little stat for you guys. They ran and
What was that stat?
What was that?
EA simulation with Bulls team, and they ran a simulation on EA Sports games where they like played the '95 Bulls versus Golden State, and the Bulls won.
Okay, if it happened in EA Sports,
It was
probably
like
happened in
it
reality.
was like a best of 100. I mean, but they played in this era too, because you got to imagine Jordan playing in this era with no hand check. He'll go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's. I mean, whatever. By the way, if we're doing the Golden State wrap up, do we use anything below an A? Okay, so we're up to Sasha. Jay, what level of F would you like to give Sasha?
I would like to give Sasha a triple F with 3 snaps in a circle.
He was shooting. I mean, his shooting is a lot better in this. Like,
Don't
recently.
give a shit. Anybody who goes 6 weeks shooting 0%, that's a real thing. He went over an entire month shooting 0%.
Stat guy. Do you think in wheelchair basketball they would blow by Sasha on
Yes.
defense? Okay.
Yes.
I've never seen as someone as just. They say Sasha hustles, and Jay and I concluded last night Sasha's hustling is just that he's chasing always the guy he's supposed to be defending. Seraphin, what grade do you give Seraphin?
D?
Yeah, I mean he couldn't beat out. Is Seraphin coming back next year?
No, definitely not.
Nope.
Yeah, there's no reason to bring. They've even been playing him lately.
No, the feeling is going to be totally mutual, too.
Okay, this one's an more interesting one. Lance Thomas. He started off the year making Jay apologize, then kind of got injured and disappeared near the end of the year.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to even that out to a C.
I'm going to say based on my expectations of him not barely being in the NBA, I give him a B.
Okay. I mean,
Stat-
he has sucked for about 2 months, though.
Yeah, he's been also injured for at least a month of that. So you bring Lance Thomas back. He's going to get more than league minimum. He's going to get like $4 million a year.
Yeah, I would probably bring him back just because, again, we need bodies.
He can defend multiple positions, and most Knicks can't defend one position.
Yeah,
So I think he's got to come back.
yeah.
And Tony Roten, what grade do you give him?
I give him an A for swindling the Knicks and getting them to sign him to a multi-year contract when he can't even play.
I give
That's
him an A
impressive.
for playing just as much defense as Sasha this year.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Tony Roten thing is amazing also. Okay, you want to go to Facebook questions, Jay?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, we're running long and not talking about much.
Let me check. I don't think we got any emails. No, we didn't get any emails this week. NYNixPodcast at gmail.com. Twitter is at NYNixPodcast. We forgot to ask for questions on there.
I forgot that was me. Okay, Anthony writes, I will miss my Knicks podcast. And he has a happy face crying.
Well, we're not, leaving. We're just doing less shows.
I have a freaking ant on my goddamn computer screen. These freaking ants.
Yeah, I mean, at the very worst, we'll go bi-weekly. But during the playoffs, I feel like we still have a lot to talk about, so we may not slow down until after the playoffs.
we'll be slowing down a little bit.
A little
we'll
bit.
See.
A little bit.
We'll see back. We'll see, and we'll see how interested Jay. You know, around draft time, that's when we'll not do any shows. The Knicks don't have any goddamn draft picks.
Yeah.
If you don't listen to the Brink of Sanity podcast, you don't know that I have ants all around my house, and they drive me insane.
That is our comedy podcast called The Brink of Sanity. You can find that on iTunes or brinkofsanityshow.com.
And if you thought listening to us talk about the Knicks is fun, wait till you hear me talk about ants. Andrew writes, do you think Phil wants to leave because he's actually required to work rather than the Lakers where he can just do nothing at all and watch the LA Rats snitch each other out? I guess LA Rats refers to Nick Young and who's Russell?
Yeah. No, I don't think he wants to leave. I think people just made this up. I haven't seen anywhere other than like the Post that is known to make stuff up that he wants to leave.
So what do you think about it seems like Phil Jackson wants Rambis and he wants him to a multi-year deal, but it seems like he wants Rambis because Rambis seems like the guy he can basically coach, like that could be his surrogate coach. Rambis will listen to everything he says and do everything Phil wants.
Yeah, I guess. But
I mean, is this a
terrible.
bad thing? We've wanted Phil Jackson to be our coach for all this time.
Yeah, but
So we have a
Rambis
guy
is-
that's going to basically be Phil's mouthpiece.
No, he's not. Unless Phil's totally lost it because Rambis sucks.
Do you think maybe like Phil has really lost it and he's like Rambis, why don't you give Jordan more run? Where's Pippen? Why don't you get the ball to Shaq? Okay, Phil. Okay, I'll try that. They also Rambis and Fisher went a little back and forth this week or last week, whenever the hell this came out. That Rambis made a comment that the Knicks, one of their problems earlier in the year was they didn't get a chance to really practice the triangle enough, and the team wasn't committed to the triangle. This is part of the year when the Knicks were at 500, I guess. And he was upset the Knicks didn't spend enough time. Fisher replied back that essentially the Knicks, there's not enough time to really practice these days, and it just doesn't really work these days. The triangle.
Yeah, Fisher's like, we didn't have time to practice, and we only had like 48 games to get this right. I mean, it's not enough time.
I mean, they were basically 500 under Fisher, so I think Fisher seems to be the one that was. I mean, it's almost like a nightmare that the only thing that seemed to work is when Fisher went away from the triangle, and like Rambis is like Kathy Bates breaking the Knicks' legs and being like, I'm your number one fan. We're back to being no triangle or nothing else.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm seriously questioning the whole validity of this triangle thing.
I am questioning the whole Phil Jackson thing. I know he has all these titles, and it doesn't even make any sense for me to question him because he has all these titles, and he's one of the greatest coaches ever. But what the hell is he doing here?
Yeah, but
It's
it's
that
a
guy.
completely
It's that
different
guy.
job.
That guy. What the hell is Phil Jackson doing here? You looked it up on Google?
Yeah.
Okay. Jay, what were you gonna say?
It's a completely different job.
It just said, what the fuck?
I don't know. Stack. I just even like your audio went when you said that.
Oh,
You can say it again.
I said, not shit. Not much.
Two curse words.
You know how Google like they complete your search? They give you a suggestion.
Yeah.
So you start typing, "Why is Phil Jackson?" And just like the first thing is like still coaching the Knicks. Okay, so Andrew writes, the thoughts on Sixers kicking Hinkie out because we all know that's how it went down. Do you think
they kind of pushed him out. They hired
kinda?
Yeah, I mean they hired Colangelo and said now you're gonna like be a team and do it together. Obviously, it was pushing him out.
Do you think the Sixers made a mistake in the sense of like they should have given Hinkie a little more time?
Yeah, you don't let the guy like amass all these assets and then not see what he does with it. It's stupid.
Or you just say that the guy that amassed all these assets just drafted 3 years in a row, drafted the guy that played the same position, and we want to trade one of them. The other one doesn't play in the NBA, and the third one is like the only good guy we've gotten. They've gotten one player so far they like.
Well, I would have at least let him do this off season.
I agree. I would have let him also.
Speaking
it's a
of
weird...
Google's auto search thing, I wrote, why do the Knicks? And the first two are stink and keep losing.
Okay, stat guy. Since the Knicks, since the Sixers fired Hinkie, how much better have they been? Who fires their GM? Forget that. Who fires their GM with 4 games to go in the year? What's the point? Okay, Greg writes, surprised fake thoughts. And it says Phil Jackson reportedly wants badly out of New York and is eyeing return to the Lakers.
I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second. Yeah. Q writes, how sad is it that the media rather cover the Knicks FIFA tournament than Knicks basketball? What's the Knicks FIFA tournament?
I have no idea.
Okay, Andrew writes, by the way, the Mets have started the year off terrible. All I have to live for now is I have more things to live for than this, but sports-wise, the Knicks were so terrible. I'm looking forward to the Mets going back to the World Series, or at least making the playoffs, and they started the year off 2-4. I'm upset, Jay. Can you make me happier?
There's 156 games left. They could probably make that up.
Yep.
Yeah. Andrew writes, without the success and growth of Porzingis, how bad would this season have been? Porzingis has kept me sane.
Literally the only good thing about this season.
Josh writes, I was doing a little research. Since the Melo trade, the Nuggets and Knicks have had similar records. Every time the Knicks have made the playoffs, so have the Nuggets. Every time the Knicks have not, so have the Nuggets. Only outlier is the tank season last year, but both had bad records. Is this proof enough that we should trade Melo this offseason? Do you still want Melo on the team? Do you think the front office pays attention to stuff like this?
I mean, I think it's on their radar. I don't know if they... I don't think they obsess over it.
I mean, does it matter, I guess, that the Denver's been pretty bad also?
No. I mean, like all the guys that they got from the Knicks either are bad or are permanently injured. So, I think we could say now that the Knicks won that trade.
Stat guy, did the Knicks win that trade?
Yep.
Sweet.
I mean, Chandler literally can't stay on the court for more than 10 straight games.
So, well, we don't have these draft picks, but stat guy, is it a good argument that Melo wants to win now and the Knicks are really playing for the win in 5 years? The Knicks are the Knicks are part of a long rebuild and Melo wants to win now. Do you think that works together?
No.
Is that a good enough reason to trade him?
No.
Oh, God. Okay, Greg writes, possible first-round upsets. You guys think the Warriors would win 73? I think they will now.
Yeah.
Do you want to do first-round upsets, or do you want to do a playoff show next week? Let's do a playoff show next week, Jay.
Okay, yeah. If we do next Sunday, it'll only be the second day of the playoffs, so I think we could still...
Greg sends me a picture of a BlackBerry. I don't know why Greg doesn't write... Greg writes his questions on a BlackBerry and then sends them to me.
Actually, the seating is still so up in the air. We can't really do upsets right now because we don't know who's playing who.
Okay, if you give David Stern truth serum and ask him 3 questions, what would those be? Mine would be, if he really suspended MJ on his first retirement, did he really freeze Ewing envelope for us? Why did he say my 3 questions would be and then only ask 2?
I would definitely ask the Jordan retirement suspension thing.
Yeah, that one I would definitely ask. The Ewing envelope, would you care as much?
It would be interesting to know.
I want to know if more games are fixed.
Yeah, you know what? I would ask. There's so many questionably rigged playoff series. I don't know which one I'd ask about.
Just if they know that coach that refs were doing more to throw games.
Right. Because I definitely want to find out about the 04 Kings Lakers
I knew you were going to say that. Yes.
and any of the years that the Phoenix got screwed.
And I'd ask him how big of an embarrassment are the New York Knicks. With Truth Serum, I'd love to hear his answer. Anton, what would you ask Stat Guy? Do you have a question that we haven't asked?
Pretty much you guys are on point. I just don't know if Phoenix ever got robbed. I mean, those were terrible teams.
Terrible teams?
Yeah, they didn't play any defense. Jeez.
You didn't
Can't win.
Jay's about to go postal on you.
They got screwed
No
so
defense.
bad against the Spurs that that one series where they were calling phantom foul calls and Ginobili got an uncontested layup and they called a foul. There's an 18-minute clip show on YouTube of all the bad calls.
Yeah, I think you could do that on any team and any game in the league. I mean, it happens. It just they didn't play any defense. It's tough. I see your point. It's just no defense, no ring.
Yeah.
They didn't play defense. He does have a point. I mean, Amari and Nash were not exactly good defenders in their prime.
No, they had some guys who could defend on that team.
Who?
But the
Matt.
coach didn't encourage defense.
No, he did. He definitely didn't. Marion was good on defense.
No, D'Antoni. I don't know what you're talking about. D'Antoni's system was play defense for 6 seconds, right?
Yeah.
No.
Anton writes, NBA 2K has my GM mode, and you get to redraft the entire league. I rebuilt the Knicks with Melo and won a championship. Can you guys do a first-round draft for the current overall standings with all the players up for grabs? Could be a fun idea, and see who would take in the top picks. Carlos writes, does Ewing deserve a shot at coaching, and would Phil consider giving him a shot?
I would love to see the Knicks give Ewing a shot.
Yeah, why not?
He's got 13 years of assistant coach experience. That's more than our last 5 coaches combined.
Sure.
Yeah.
I heard he knows his stuff. He's just not good at conveying it to the players, and that's a problem.
Do you even know he's not good at conveying?
I don't know that. That's all conjecture.
You just guess. We have
No,
no
they
idea
said that
what they say, that guy.
they said that Ewing just didn't interview well. That was his problem.
Well, I think they should give him a chance anyway. They owe it to him.
We're gonna cut to the New York Knicks interview with Patrick Ewing. Patrick, welcome. What is your connection to the Knicks?
Something with basketballs.
I didn't ask him to be retarded. I thought the Knicks were going to be retarded by not knowing his connection, but Jay and I are on the same page with the skit. Okay. Derek writes,
That was our quickest skit ever.
Okay, yeah. Oh, Jerry writes, this comes later, but I want to talk about this. Why am I the only one who could see the benefits of Dwight and Kristaps protecting the paint in the 3-2 zone the same way Tyson and Dirk completely befuddled Miami, Big 3, in the finals? Or is everyone just afraid to disagree with you guys? So Jerry's calling us out on Dwight Howard. Jay, do you want to...
Before I go on a super tirade, Stats Guy, what do you think of Dwight Howard?
Don't touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Well, there you have it.
Stat Guy, your audio broke up. You said you wanted to do what with your poll? Sorry.
So Dwight Howard, he peaked 5 years ago. He misses 20 games a season. All his teammates hate him from his last 2 teams.
The only team that's wanted him in the last 5 years has been Orlando. Ever since he left there, no team wants to keep him.
Right. He's a locker room cancer. His stats go down every year. He's arguably, I wouldn't even say at this point he's that much better on defense than Lopez.
I just don't think he's. I do think he's better than Lopez, but I don't think he's better enough that it would make any sense. You're gonna pay what is the? It'd be at least $8 or $9 million more a year, right? Is that guy anywhere?
Yeah.
Something like
Probably
that.
12 more.
You'd have to give him a. I don't know. It could be 12 more. You're not giving him $28 million.
No, 25. Lopez
25.
makes 13.
Oh, good God! Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, He's worth. You're going to pay a lot more to get a little bit better. We can spend our money in a better way.
I think he's marginally better, way worse in the locker room. He'll play about 15 games less a season. Obviously makes a lot more. And he's not like that much better where he's going to move the needle more than like a win or two.
Yeah, I mean, and Lopez will set picks, and Dwight Howard will complain. What do you prefer?
Yeah.
Stat guy, can you look this up for me? Do the Knicks set the fewest picks in the NBA?
Yes.
You did not look that up.
Didn't need to.
Okay, fair enough. That's a. Derek writes, are you impressed with how Lopez has played this year? If Rambis gets the multi-year deal, are we going to be the new Sixers?
No, because the Sixers collect assets.
But we'll start having assets. Well, okay, yeah, we don't do that. But maybe Phil's like, my first plan, I will hire Rambis. My next plan, we will get 3 straight number 1 picks.
Could be. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Rich writes, could you imagine the pitch also to Dolan? He's like, we gave all that money to Derek Fisher, we're going to be paying him for the next 3 years. How about we do the same thing for Rambis? He's got almost as many wins.
Oh, barf.
Did you know Rambis is the fastest coach to 100 losses? James, did you know that when I asked Rambis how many sides there are to a triangle, he didn't hesitate before getting the answer right. Rich writes, was hiring Phil Jackson a phenomenal PR move by Dolan, so we all think he's the savior of the Knicks when he fires Phil?
I think you're giving Dolan way too much credit for being able to think.
There's no more to that thought?
No, that's the end of the sentence.
Okay. Stat guy, what would you grade the Phil Jackson hire?
C plus.
What would you grade the Phil Jackson hiring 2 years ago? Or what did you, if you had to do it then?
B.
You only gave it a B at the time?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he had no experience.
There you go.
Apparently that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, what would you have given the Phil Jackson hiring at the time?
I think I was pretty high on it, probably like an A-.
I think I probably gave it at least an A. I thought it was like, well, James Dolan now won't interfere. We have a great basketball mind who doesn't believe in 3-pointers. Shane writes,
Well,
Grant, Stack, were you going to say something?
The one thing about Phil was the fact that he at least kept Dolan at bay.
Like, you don't hear anything about James Dolan other than him cursing out fans. So,
I don't know. Is this a good thing or a bad thing that we don't hear from Dolan anymore? I don't know.
Not hearing from Dolan's always a good thing.
Yeah. Grant writes, can we get a season wrap-up from Mike Woodson since he seems to be confused about which team he's helping anyways?
We may have him on when the Clippers start playing some playoff games.
Could be. Shane writes, do you guys think it's time for Phil Jackson to go? He's done nothing for us but steal our money. Porzingis is the only bright side, and maybe Grant. Where has James Dolan been, and why has he been so quiet, especially after this horrible season?
Phil gets this offseason. If by August he's still terrible, then he's got to go.
I feel like Phil Jackson gets another. Well, first of all, there's no way Dolan's firing Phil before next year.
You know what? Actually, never mind. Like, the Knicks have no draft picks and no trade chips, so there's not really much he could do this offseason. I guess you keep him on another year.
I mean, you could argue that Phil, like, he's building it. It's going to take slowly. He ripped the team apart last year. They were terrible. They've gotten better this year. You have a cornerstone in Porzingis. Grant could be pretty decent. It's going to take time. I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to build a team when you have no cap space and no assets.
Yeah, so I mean, going forward, if he trades Melo, that would probably be a good way to get assets. But Stat guy, are the Knicks are they doing a youth movement right now?
No.
Stat guy, are the Knicks rebuilding?
No.
Wonderful. I don't know. Jay, do we have more to talk about? I think that's all the questions.
That's all the questions?
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of questions. No one gives a shit about the Knicks anymore.
Yeah, refresh. I think Steven sent something else.
Oh, okay. I don't usually refresh during the show. Let me see. Oh, you, Steven, with your last-minute questions. By the way, someone made a comment that Damari Carroll is back, and that's wonderful. Jay and I got to see him last night.
Yeah, we got to see him play like 10 whole minutes.
Yeah. New York Knicks from the Philippines writes, or New York Knicks Philippines writes, any 90s Knicks team versus the 2015-16 Warriors, who wins?
Ugh.
Any 90s what team?
Any 90s Knicks team versus the 2015-16 Warriors, who wins?
Again, I think it's what era are they playing in?
I agree completely. I'll make the argument that if the 90s teams had played this Warriors team in the 90s, they would crush them because most of the guys in the Warriors wouldn't be over like 3 or 4 years old. The Knicks would get killed. Come on.
Yeah, I think they would. But I mean, I think it would. I mean, the entire roster would foul out in about 3 seconds if they played today.
Stat guy, Jay and I did this last night. Could you do me a favor? Could you look up John Starks and tell us how he ended up on the Knicks?
How he ended up on the Knicks?
Go to Wikipedia. Yeah, you should read this. It's instead of where are they now, how did they get where they were? Or a new bit. It's funny.
It's a crazy story.
Yeah. Jerry writes, why am I the only one who could see the benefit of Dwight? Oh, he already asked. I already did that one. And Stephen responded, signing Dwight would be retarded. And Stephen writes, sober the F up, Jerry. Stephen, always really helpful with our fans. Stephen writes, what's the sliding rule? I'm talking about the MLB. We're not talking about I would like to talk about baseball. Stephen, I can't answer that question right now. Stephen, how many questions has Stephen had? I was trying to buy snacks at Raptors game last week, and there was a guy in line. He was a vegan. He kept preaching about his homosexual diet. I kept trying to tell him to chill and enjoy the game. Told him he doesn't. It says see more. I'm not going to click see more. First question. Stephen writes, I'd like some draft coverage, if that's not too much to ask. Yes, we're going to cover everything the Knicks are going to do in the draft right now. Go, Jay.
And we're done.
Stephen writes, you guys looking forward to the draft? I am. Thanks for making me refresh, Jay. Those were wonderful questions from Stephen. Stat guy, did you find about John Starks?
Yeah, I think it's by free agency or some shit like that. Like, you ain't threw him down and Starks twisted his knee. What?
So, John Starks once he was not drafted. He was signed with Golden State Warriors, got cut, ended up playing in the Continental Basketball League, where he played well, and then the World Basketball League. The Knicks gave him a tryout. At his tryout, he tried to dunk on Patrick Ewing. He twisted his ankle trying to dunk on Patrick Ewing. The Knicks were forced to keep him on the roster. I guess they had signed him to a short contract, and they couldn't cut him because he got injured. He went right to the DL or right to the injured list. And because they couldn't cut him, they had to keep him longer, and eventually he had a role on the team.
Oh, damn.
But basically, if he didn't get injured that first practice, he would not have been an all-time Knick great.
So the Knicks' best shooting guard in the last 25 years was on the team because they were literally forced to keep him. That's definitely a Knicks story.
Yes.
Well, Allen Houston was the best, I think, but I hated John Starks. God.
You hated John Starks?
I wasn't a Starks fan either.
He was such a dick. Oh, he was a dick, man. Grade A dick.
So yesterday when Jay and I were at the Knicks game, John Starks was signing autographs, and Jay commented that every time he goes to MSG, John Starks is hanging around, and we've decided that John Starks actually probably lives at MSG.
I'm pretty sure, like, when the T-shirt booth like wraps up, John Starks just unrolls a sleeping bag and like sleeps there.
But I have big news actually breaking from Knicks world. You guys want to hear some big news from Knicks world?
Always.
Kurt Rambis sees a quick turnaround to the Knicks. He said, if we get the right pieces and continue to grow as a team and everything, we see this turning around real quick. The potential is there to turn around really quick.
So all we need to do is get a lot of good players.
Well, let's analyze the statement. If we get the right pieces, so if he gets good players, and they continue to grow as a team and everything, I'm not sure what "and everything" means. I assume "and everything" means an asteroid hits all 29 other teams.
I think it means magic.
We see this turning around real quick. The potential is there to turn it around real quick. He said real quick twice.
I also agree that if the Knicks get a bunch of good, better players, and the ones they have all significantly improve instantly, and you add magic, that the Knicks would be have a quick turnaround.
Do you remember in the 90s the Knicks won 50 games in back-to-back seasons multiple times?
Barely.
So under Phil Jackson, they've now recorded 50 losses in back-to-back seasons. Kind of like the 90s, just different. Yeah. Of course, also the Knicks are considering David Blatt as coach. What do you think of that?
Yes.
Why?
Because his name is not Rambis.
Stat guy, can you look this up for me on Google? Is David Blatt Kurt Rambis?
So probably, yeah, because he's gonna be Phil's bitch too.
You think? I don't think Blatt's going to be his bitch. I don't know. I don't say like
he runs the triangle too with the Princeton offense.
Yeah, but I don't know. He doesn't run it the same way that Phil does. Did Cleveland do the pick and roll? They use pick and roll though, right?
They did, but oh man, go ahead. I don't even want to start talking about Cleveland, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, you know what? So is it weird also that Phil would want to hire a guy whose success came because he had one of the best players of all time on like Phil had to have the best player on the one of the best players in history on the roster at all times to win a title. And then he's like, oh, you know who's pretty good? That other guy that coached that had one of the great players of all time on his roster. That accounted for all his success. Okay. What did we learn today?
We learned that Rambis believes that magic will help the Knicks.
Is that Johnson or just the actual like David Blaine type magic?
I think it's more Chris Angel.
Okay. Chris Angel, I think, could be a warlock. I mean, I've seen some of the shit he does. Jay, I have a question. Would you rather get David Stern to answer your 3 questions or have Chris Angel show you how he does his tricks?
I would go with the 3 questions.
Really?
I really want to know that Michael Jordan thing.
I might Chris Angel or David Blaine. I would think I might go with. They do some weird shit. I would love to see how they do their tricks.
Yeah.
And it would be really weird if David Blaine's like, "Yeah, I'm from outer space," and he bursts out like an alien.
It's not a trick. I could really levitate.
You're like, "Oh, that's scary. I'm an X-Men." Oh, god damn it. We're looking at it from the standpoint of new management, new coaching staff. So last year was a year that I calculate as year 0. just trying to clean things up and move forward. This is our first year of really trying to move forward and seeing what we have and the direction that we want to go and adding pieces. This is a natural process of what happens in the NBA. That quote is from Donald Trump. Okay, you guys want to end this?
Yeah. Yeah, let's end it. So thanks for joining us, Stats Guy.
Yeah. No,
Stat Guy, would you rather have Kurt Rambis or Donald Trump as your president?
Donald Trump.
Not Kurt Rambis?
Dude, Kurt can't lead a sheep herd, man. Come on.
Do you think the United States would form a triangle with Eastern Europe? Okay, we're out.
Well, Rambus would make a rhombus.
I like that. Stat Guy, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
And despite your audio issues, we thought it was a very successful Stat Guy appearance.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, so we'll be doing a playoff preview soon, and that's about it. So thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll be back soon.
All right.
My love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave you. It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone. Feels so good to say goodbye. I'm sick and tired and I'm saying goodbye. Goodbye, girl. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Everybody. Napa know how.
A Napa guy knows that by the foot, there's no better ride than an old station wagon. Room for 6 people facing forward, 2 people facing backward, and a whole lot of luggage, lumber, and bicycles haphazardly strapped to the roof. If you can parallel park that beast, you can park anything. And with some quality parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep your land ship running longer, stronger. It's not obsolete. It's a rare treasure. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know